Hey everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home. And we've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today. So let's get started.
Today is episode 198, Summer Trends for Outdoor Decor.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to find the show notes for today's episode, go to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/198.
All right. Well, in my neck of the woods, spring has finally sprung very late. So I don't think we're going to have much of a spring at all. We're going to go right into summer. So today we're going to talk about summer ideas and trends that are happening now to decorate your outside so you have some nice outdoor living spaces.
Well, and it's so fun to be outside in the summer and the spring. I think this is just such a wonderful topic because, you know, it's just meant to be spent outdoors if you can, weather permitting.
Mm-hmm.
And so what a great thing to have a beautiful outdoor space. In fact, I have a friend that just moved from the suburbs out to the country, and the house, it's kind of a downsizing thing. Her house is, actually, it's a big kind of outdoor storage building. And then because they're trying to decide what they're going to do. So they're thinking about they're going to retire, do the RV thing. So anyway, the bottom line is very small living space indoors, but they've got this huge outdoor space. So I think hopefully this will be good for my friend Denise.
Oh, good. Well, hi, and we're glad you're here. So we live in a 4-season area, so we really look forward to the spring, the fall, and part of the summer. And my favorite thing about summer are long summer evenings. It does tend to get a little cooler here, and if it gets a little cooler, we can go out. And we're going to talk about, I love the idea of having these quote unquote outdoor rooms.
Well, that's how you really, you create an illusion even of additional space, even if you have a small yard, by creating the rooms.
Yeah.
It makes your eye continue, and kind of like it's like adds a little bit of curiosity to your area if everybody can't see everything in one fell swoop. If you look out the back and all is an expanse of grass and a couple of chairs, that is not as interesting to a human's eye and brain as if you had an arch somewhere with maybe a vine growing over it. And maybe, you could see sort of the peak of something going on over there, whether it be a container plant or a fountain or something like that. So even in a small area, you can create these little rooms, and it's not like they have to be completely closed off, with a doorway, just sort of grouping different things. So there are different destinations, right, and they act like rooms in your outdoor space.
That is such a good way to put that, Kelly, because I know we expanded our patio several years ago, and we have like a 2-tiered, and it has a little wall and lights around it, in the wall, like a sitting wall. And we have on the bottom part, we have a big fire pit. And then on the top, we actually have like a dining area and a sitting area,
Wow.
And I love that distinction. And then on our porch, we actually have a little corner of our porch on the back side of it where we have curtains, and we have a small table just for Bobby and I. It has a rug under it. But this,
very nice.
The romantic corner.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to just put this out there, and I want to know what you both think about this. But my feeling is that outdoor spaces this summer, when we're talking about trends for 2018, it is moving they're going much more sophisticated, and they're going much more like an indoor space.
I agree.
Yes, and I love that. And, I think you can, especially with my little orphans or things you can find for, a couple bucks or free. Hey, why not pull out some actual furniture and enjoy it for the season? If it was a $5 chair, who cares? You can do things like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be like you're pulling your bed and your dresser and all of that outside, but
although I've done it.
Although I've seen you do it. Yes.
I've seen it.
Yes. I mean, isn't that just so appealing? Anita had was it a full bed or the day bed out?
It was just a day bed.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
it was
that
so
was just
romantic.
taking a few minutes.
Oh my goodness. We pulled it out into the bluebonnets because we just had an incredible crop of bluebonnets everywhere in the pastures. And I said, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm taking a bunch of pictures. And so, before Kevin could get out of the house, I'm like, oh, Kevin, move the bed to the,
I think I want to take a nap in the midst of the blue bonnets. Well, I hope you did lay down for a few minutes out there because that just looks so beautiful.
Yeah, for a few.
You have to link that. And,
I just wrote a note to myself to link that to the show notes because it is spectacular. And just if you did it just for pretty, it's worth it. It's that beautiful.
Yeah.
In our area, like I really can't pull furniture out. I can keep it on my porch. But not on my patio because, we get horrific thunderstorms and blazing heat and wind. It's not like we, where you live in California, where you just have a lot of sunshine. We get such elements. So our furniture is
we live in the real world.
Yeah.
I guess because you live in California, you've not seen the commercial about California?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm going to have to send it to you.
Is it mean? Because
it's
mean
adorable.
About California.
It's adorable. Okay. It says we're just hanging around, and it's somebody hanging on a cliff, and somebody. It's same old, and there's a beautiful table on the beach.
Regular day hiking behind the Hollywood sign. On the beach.
But anyway, I do have a big table and chairs that are very seasonal worthy. We keep it out there in the winter, but we have these wonderful, beautiful like chairs that have cushions and they're plush, but they are made for outdoor use, but you can't tell. And I'm going to hang a chandelier from a tree over my dining room table outside this year. And this is the big thing. And this is so on trend, girls. We bought 9 boxes of outdoor lights at Costco last winter because we thought,
are
they
these
have
string
them
lights
here.
or the kind that go in the ground?
No,
what
the
kind?
string lights
that
go overhead. And that's Bobby's big late spring, early summer project. We are going to string our porch is our patio is pretty big, but we're going to string them over the center portion of our patio.
Yeah, we have those.
Oh, we're so excited.
3 strands running from the house to the barn. My suggestion to Bobby would be get a nice heavy gauged wire and put that on there first. And then, so you don't want them to sag. Because there's quite a distance.
If we did tip of the day amongst ourselves anymore, I'd give it to you, Kelly.
Well, thank you. I feel good about just hearing that.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah, because then you just do it with some of them, the ones that I purchased from Amazon. And they're actually in my shop on Amazon, which had its grand opening today.
So, congratulations. Check out her shop. We'll put that in the show notes.
We'll link it. The ones that I purchased they're smaller. They're very durable. We've had them up for quite some time now. But they actually have their own little clip.
Yeah.
That clips right onto the wire. So you don't have, because sometimes you get them where they're the real big heavy duty ones like a restaurant would have or something, and you need to zip tie them. This way, their little clips just go right over the wire.
Ours are pretty heavy duty. So, we have to have them heavy duty. We get thunder and hail and hurricanes, everything.
They are all weather as well. They're just, they're just a little, delicate's not the right word, but they're less sort of, heavy
obvious?
In the socket than the other ones.
Gotcha.
So anyway, nice. I think that's a great idea. And, we put them up initially for Laura's 14th birthday party. And I thought, we'll have them up to party and then they'll come down. Well, not only would I never take them down, I like to go out to unfortunately, I didn't think it through as well as I would have had I known I was going to keep them forever. The switch is out in the barn. So I'll go out there at night and put them on. And so when we're eating dinner casually in the kitchen, they're on and I can see them so we enjoy them every night. So if anybody puts them up in a place where they can see them from the inside at the nighttime, what am I saying? When nightfall comes along and you're inside your house, you can still enjoy the view. Just don't use them for parties.
And there are so many. We've looked at so many YouTube videos. So check out YouTube. They have a ton of videos of how to hang them, what to attach them to your house or tree or rod or whatever with. So that's a really good source if you don't know what you're doing to check that out.
Yeah. Another thing that we'd used in the at the farm because, it's a big acreage. So let's say you have an area and it's a little far from your house, or maybe you don't have the string lights.
Mm-hmm.
I hung some string from tree to tree, and then I got some little mason jars and some flexible wire and just kind of wrapped it around the mason jars with a little hook on top and put tea lights in all these they're small little mason jars, like 3 inches tall.
Yeah.
And they looked so special at
charming.
night. So that's something you can do. And I wanted to mention something else because we love using our back porch at the farm, but it like Yvonne was saying, it is covered, so we don't have to worry so much about the rain, but it creates a wind tunnel. And I mean, it's so bad it's so bad that one time it took a rocking chair and threw it like 20 yards and it broke it.
Dorothy.
I'm telling you, it was pretty rough.
You're not in Kansas anymore.
Right. So, I mean, something else to think about, and actually we're considering doing this, is I found, and I'll have to, if I can find it, I'll link to it, but I may not be able to find it again. There's some metal shutters that are kind of do an accordion fold, and you can close them when you want and open them when you want. So I would love to have something on my back porch like that where you close them in the wintertime, and then you can just put a heater back there. And then if it's if it's a blowing storm, you can do that, but then keep the backside open because that's not a problem. It's just that wind coming from the side.
Oh, if you find those, please let me know. That sounds like such a good option. We have curtains. But sometimes they blow straight out or straight in. So I have to bungee them down.
I tried to do the curtains, but it was like flying a flag.
It is, yeah.
I thought if I, do some, if I tie them down some way and put some, way to tie them down, clamp them down or something, they're going to rip apart. Yeah. So, if you've got a lot of wind, you're going to need something more heavy duty than a curtain.
And if you don't have, I have a lot of wind. We put them up. We just, and unfortunately, we don't have anything to tie them down with. I have to use a bungee cord just because that works, and they slide. So they're pretty straight then, but they are, if you have a porch, they are so beautiful.
Well, if you don't have a lot of wind, I think you could do some grommets at the bottom and kind of do some string or rope and kind of hold them in place. But again, I could tell that something was going to rip apart if I did that.
But yeah, definitely use, again, here's an indoor element that we're using outdoors. Using curtains is a beautiful idea. I've only gotten curtains for outdoor use, but even some shears might look very beautiful.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy-to-reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health: potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Right. Since we're talking about creating rooms or areas, you may find that you need to go vertical in some places, or you may want to go vertical in your gardening for privacy. And of course, traditionally you could use hedges and hedging material, and depending on how much you want to pay, you can get different sized plants, 5-gallon, 10-gallon, 15-gallon, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But that can run into a lot of expense, and then you have to really take care of it. And if you're spending that much for a plant, you certainly don't want it to pass away. So I did something here that is really working well, and it's starting to come in. So I feel confident in giving it as a tip and some gardening advice. Poles, like wooden poles, and we cemented them into the ground at 6.5, or you could do 8-foot spreads. And in between, I put mesh, 1-inch squared mesh, not chicken wire, but you could probably use chicken wire as well. But I chose the squared off mesh. And I have a very narrow bed in front of these posts with the mesh.
I like where this is going.
And then I chose vining materials, vining plants. So I used pink-throated jasmine, or you could use star jasmine. I would suggest, or even potato vine, something that grows fast and furious. And I planted them maybe 2 or 3 in between each post. So 2 or 3 are going to now cover that mesh. And they really sort of intuitively vine themselves, because that's the nature of that plant.
They're climbers.
But then you can just go out when you have a little time and sort of poke some of the new branches through and sort of encourage it to spread out. And the one area that I did with 3 sections of the mesh is almost totally covered. And this spring, maybe a week or 2 ago, it was in full bloom with the pink jasmine.
Did it smell heavenly?
Oh, it smells so beautiful. So now we've extended. I was like, I love this so much. So we did it along our driveway. And if you've seen pictures of my backyard right now, my neighbor is very close, and you can see their house and you can see some of their windows. But I have hedges growing up along the property line, but then there's my driveway. And so on the other side, and sort of the inside edge of my driveway, is where I did this. So it just adds another layer of privacy, and obviously the beautiful greenery and also the flowers when it blooms. And then my idea is on either end, I'm going to grow either some David Austin roses, some ramblers, or something. So to even have more flowers going up over the top.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
And it was so inexpensive. So you're talking about posts, and we got them about 6 feet tall. Maybe they were 7 feet tall, and then there's a foot in the ground. But definitely put them in with cement. Have someone help you if you can't do that yourself. And then I bought inexpensive wooden finials that are about 12 inches tall to sort of finish it off on
cap the tops.
Yeah. And painted them white, and then the mesh in between, and bam, you are good to go.
That sounds gorgeous. Let's go. Let's keep in the plants. Something that I think is really trending are the ideas of having like potted tomatoes, potted lettuces, potted flowers that are in big pots of them that are interspersed throughout your rooms so people and even like I'd love to have a lemon tree. I probably couldn't keep it, in my house and keep it alive, but outside I probably could for the summer. And I think they're very hot right now. But what we do to sort of extend that, if we have they're huge pots of flowers, and I'll put some pictures in the show notes. We took lanterns, just like tiki torch type of lanterns. And these have a light on the top that are solar powered. And then they have the lanterns. So you can either have these solar powered, like light, very dim lights, and they're on about maybe a 4-foot pole. So what we did, maybe a 5-foot pole, we took a bucket and put cement in it, a small bucket, and put the tiki torches in it. So we have the bottom of it now has a small bucket of cement, and then it has the tiki torch on it. And we put them in the middle of our great big round containers that we plant on our porch. That's sort of like anchor containers. Mm-hmm. And then we just put the tiki torch in there with the weighted cement, covered that all up, and planted it.
Yeah.
And we plant things that are high that sort of grow up it. So in the evening, every evening, I think we have now 6 of them. And in the evening, we've got these big planters just dotting our patio. And then in the evening, we either have a nice dim light or we can light them up. And we usually use something like citronella or whatever to keep the bugs away. And it just finishes how a room looks, an outdoor room
looks. Beautiful. Well, another thing I wanted to mention about these outdoor spaces, how they're becoming more sophisticated, is if you have a covered porch, you can bring furniture from inside the house out there, just depending. I mean, obviously, use your best judgment, but I have a china cabinet back there. Mm-hmm. And stop it.
I have a king size bed back there.
Well, I did have a bed back there. Now I have that French crib that we use as a settee, but I've got it's about an 8-foot long antique pine table. And people ask, and the other thing is I did have a bed out there for a long time, a twin bed, a day bed. And so people asked, how do you keep everything, all the pillows and everything so nice? And here's the secret is you have to bring the cushions in.
I know you've said
that's not a secret. That's a schlep. Well,
that's a schlep. I love that word.
But wait a minute, I'm not done. But yeah, so that's part of it. Is well, if you want to leave them out there, you can. But I wouldn't do it long term because at the farm we have mice, so the mice like to have a little bite, nibble on the pillows,
a little snack, a little
snack, a little nosh. So that goes on. But then also the tables. Yeah, if it's going to be a while, again, if you have just a patio table out there, you don't have to do this. But since we have that pine table, and because we can't stop the rain from blowing in right now, we do put a tarp over when we're not there or when we're not using it. But, once I get these metal things on either side, well, the other thing is, again, it's a farm. So there's dirt blowing and everything. You might not have as much dirt on your patio, but you can put stuff out there, but just be watchful of, is there a lot of wind that's going to blow rain on it, and just, make sure you're protecting it from that. But, depending if you're in the city and you have the kind of porch that's kind of a corner porch and it's not a wind tunnel, you probably could get away with not tarping things and leaving the pillows out there. I don't know. Do either of you leave your pillows out?
Me? Yes, I do. I leave the pillows out, but I have a drop cloth that I just throw over them when I know we're not going to be out there that often. But, if I know there's going to be bad weather or some period of time where I'm not going to get out there at all, I'll bring them inside, but then you have to have some place to store them. I got to a point many years ago with outdoor pillows that I said, I am not going to be a slave to you.
Yeah.
You're not the boss of me. So I am not going to be schlepping you around and then finding places to store you.
But you probably don't have as much rain as we do. So
no, but we have periods of rain. But before I forget, I want to tell you this funny little story.
Okay.
So I know we're going to end the episode. I'm going to say, darn it, I didn't tell you. So anyway, my friend Julie, who was a really good friend of mine in high school and just one of these people like, an instant connection. And she somehow found my blog and then she found our podcast and she absolutely loves it. And we have
Julie.
Yeah, we have totally reconnected. And our friendship is like, it's as if I was eating lunch with her in the Sacred Heart cafeteria like yesterday when I talked to her. Like we have like grown up the same. It's so funny. So we get along so well. But anyway, she's in the grocery store the other day and she remembered she didn't finish one of our episodes. So she had her AirPods in, she's going around and she's not paying attention. So she bangs into somebody's cart and it turns out to be this, guy, like other dad she knows from the lacrosse team or whatever. And he's like, what are you like out to lunch? What are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm listening to a podcast. And then she remembered, oh, I think one of the hosts. Didn't you grow up in, on Long Island and blah, blah, blah. And you know Kelly Clifford Wilkins, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, yeah. So there's this guy that I went to elementary school with at the grocery store with the girl I went to high school with. And they're both talking about our podcast. And then he sends me like a Facebook, hey, I just bumped into Julie's shopping cart. I heard you have a great podcast. Isn't that funny?
Well, you never know how you're going to connect. Well, I've
cement
got a tip.
planters.
Yeah,
they have the aged look, which we like. It's kind of fairly earthy with the cement, but they're very modern in their angular lines and all of that. So if you're looking to you're looking at your pots and you're like, my pots kind of look like 2002, or they're just boring, or I don't want that color anymore. Think about cement, and they even have like fiber cement. So it looks like cement, but if you go to pick it up, it's much lighter than cement. It doesn't look like that plastic stuff, but it's, it is a cement, but it mixed with fiber, so it makes it much more lightweight.
Another thing that we can add that I think adds so much, we're talking about making outdoor rooms. One of the things you can do is add a rug to an outdoor space, because like I was saying, these outdoor spaces are becoming more sophisticated. And guess what? The outdoor rugs are too, because, not that long ago, outdoor rugs were not that attractive, or maybe it was
they
just
were
me.
Awful. Now you could have an outdoor rug inside. They're so good.
I have one in my living room. My dining room.
I actually have 3 outdoor Dash and Albert rugs one of them's in my elegant dining room. So, it's gorgeous. So really check into
and
that.
Your dining room is elegant, I must say.
Oh, thanks. So check those out. There's a bunch of beautiful rugs. And then the other thing, now I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again because I do believe this. And it's the outdoor hanging beds. I think they are going to be hot.
Well, they're beautiful. If you can figure out a way to incorporate that, they're great. And there's a lot of different price points, and or even just the hanging chairs are so fun. But anytime that you can get something off the ground, like going vertical, growing things up, putting in a swing, something like that, it just really shakes up the outdoor space. It doesn't feel like the typical chair and side table or a chaise lounge or something like that.
Well, I want to circle back to what Anita said about bringing a dresser out. I think it's such a fun idea. I've used my potting bench. I've actually brought bar carts out, and a dresser would be a really great place to set up like an outdoor bar or an outdoor drink station or something along those lines. And especially if it has like a cabinet underneath or big drawers, it would be perfect to store things in too.
Well, and one of the things I did as a buffet to serve drinks from on our back porch was I found an old wooden ironing board that was just kind of at Round Top Antique
the cleverest girl I know.
Vintage.
So,
hey.
So that's where we don't use it for ironing. But yeah,
I certainly wouldn't. No risk there.
What a great thing to serve.
That's
on.
Darling. But I love that out of the box thinking. We were talking about that on one of the recent podcasts.
Yeah, last Friday.
Get a habit of thinking out of the box. That is clearly top-notch out of the box thinking. Hey, the other thing that I've been working on are those raised beds, the elevados from metalgarden.com, metalgardenbeds.com. Absolutely love them. I keep looking every day. I'm looking at my seeds. Are you coming up? How far? Like, can I help you? Want me to pull back some of that soil? Are you enjoying those worm castings I tossed over you?
Oh my God.
I really want to, I don't want to plant real plants in there yet. I mean, I can just go buy a tomato and plunk it in and, like have a salad in a week. But I really want to see what comes up from seed. I am not a big seed gardener because I am a little impatient. So I would show everyone pictures of them now, but they're filled with dirt, but they're beautiful. So I will link them again in the show notes. I hope everybody has a chance to go take a look at them.
And I think you're onto something, because I think a really big trend is planting vegetables and other things like that you would find in a garden in pots. And I have raised beds that they're high. They're like up to my waist, and they have, they're on wheels and they're really long, and they're galvanized metal and just really, really heavy duty painted metal. And I plant all my herbs in that. I call that my kitchen herb garden, because that's what I do. I just like walk out onto my patio, and they have wheels so I can roll them all around and do these little clippings and come in and have them fresh. But we just planted. I have a really fun tip if you like something like that. And I saw this on a YouTube video by a gardener. If you like green onions, we call them scallions, the ones that have the little hairy ends and the white. Most people use just like the white tip, and then there's green.
That's on my menu for lunch today.
Oh, yum. Well, if you cut those scallions about an inch above the little hairy ends, you can plant them in the ground, like cover them, and they'll grow new green onions.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And the deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Great tip.
Because you throw that away like a half an inch. You throw that away anyway.
You're right.
So they last up to 8 regrows.
Wow. That's amazing.
I was so impressed. So actually, we had them yesterday for lunch. My sister-in-law is here with me.
What's with the scallion thing? I mean, I didn't get the memo on scallion.
So they're not on your menu today?
I might have a piece of cheese for lunch. Like, what is
Well, we had it.
Scallions.
We had it in a salad. But anyway, she planted them outside for me in my little herb garden because you don't have to go far. And we've planted potatoes in a really pretty urn outside, and it's amazing how many little baby potatoes we got. And we do cherry tomatoes because if you let a cherry tomato fall on the ground, like we have a raised bed vegetable garden, we'll get like gajillion volunteers. So the best thing for us to do is plant them, and we do that every year in pots. I plant red cherry or red grape and yellow pear tomatoes because they make the most beautiful salad. Now we're getting on to food.
Well, yeah,
I know.
But you know what I'm saying? I think that you can plant a lot of different things and look really beautiful on your patio.
And you can mix them in. That the days of, I have to have a vegetable garden and I have to have a flower garden and I have to then have my you could, hey, if you don't have a lot of space, if you got a sunny spot, and you've got some daisies or something growing, stick a tomato plant behind it. And there's, we're not going to get too far into plants, but there's determinate and indeterminate tomato plants. Get a determinate so it's not going to grow because some of them just go crazy and it's going to take over your garden and just grow. So you get one that is going to be a determinate size, and then you can have some modicum of control over it.
And go with the heirlooms too.
Yes. But here's another thing. Flavor. If you know how your plants get really, I don't know if yours do, but in our neck of the woods, by August, things are starting to get leggy. Annuals are getting done. Plant in between that lettuces.
Oh, great.
And they look so lush and green.
But you got to pick those
for the fall. And you pick
while
them.
They're little.
Well, I cut them. I don't pick them because I can often get a second.
That's what I mean. Cut them, but harvest them because then they don't taste so good when they grow too much.
So get a beautiful rug, put a pretty table, like my outdoor table's pretty enough. Hang a chandelier and put some pots around it that really makes it look like a living space.
Yeah. Consider those cement planters. Go vertical. Check out metalgardenbeds.com. And you're going to have a beautiful space. Hey, before we close out for today, we want to present you with our tip of the day gal. It's Julie Briones, one of our pals, Julie. And a new blogger at My Wee Abode. So we'll put the link to Julie's new blog in the show notes. So definitely go check it out. She is such a wonderful lady. So Julie had been listening to our podcast since the get-go, I believe, and she wanted to give us a tip about cleaning the faux flowers and greenery. Julie says put it in a bag and put coarse salt in there with it and shake it all around. And then the coarse salt is going to, attach to the dust and things like that and have it come off. And then just shake it all out. Shake the salt out, and then you can put your flowers back in. So thank you to Julie. That was a great tip. A lot of people have asked that question, and we're so happy that you stepped up to the plate. If you have a tip, and that means I'm speaking to you out there, the listeners, we want it. So give us your tip, send us an email, tell us your ideas, your name, and the tip, and we will put it on the calendar.
Yes.
What fun. I can't wait to get outside. I need to go because I want to go look at my seeds, and maybe I'll get to go buy some scallions and just stick them in the ground so it looks like something's coming out.
Yeah. So, Yvonne, did you have something before we went?
I just wanted to say, whatever you do, get outside and enjoy it. Cook outside, grill outside, pull a rocking chair outside. Just enjoy the summer. And if you have to do one thing, decide to do one thing to decorate outside.
Oh, good for you. Good tip. And then just one more tip before we close, and that is think about some outdoor misters if it's really super hot where you are. And then, and fans. And then, for the winter, you can always get those heaters out. So try to use those outdoor spaces as much as you can. Make them as beautiful as your indoors. And I think you're going to have a great summer. So remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey, everybody. We want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com. or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.